Hi guys, I'm Laura Vitale, and in this episode of Laura in the Kitchen, we are making Parmesan crusted chicken breast, a delicious arugula salad to go with it. I cannot wait to share this with you. It's very easy, perfect for weeknight meals if you're looking for something that's friendly, but that is not a bowl of pasta, although trust me, I'll be doing that tomorrow night. I love this recipe. Don't mistake this recipe for chicken cutlets. It's sort of a cutlet, but it's not a chicken cutlet. It's delicious. You're gonna have to just trust me. You'll need the simple, like basic principles of a chicken cutlet, right? You'll need all-purpose flour to dredge them in, then you'll need a couple of eggs to dip them in, and then you'll need your coating. The difference here is that the typical coating of a chicken cutlet is all breadcrumbs and a little cheese. This is the opposite. This is all cheese, lots of Parmigiano. You could also do pecorino and Parmigiano, a little mix, and some panko breadcrumbs. You'll do the panko breadcrumbs to give it texture and bulk, but really the flavor I'm after here is the parm, okay? We cook them in an extra virgin olive oil and butter mixture until they're golden and succulent and delicious, and you're going to love them. So we have our situation here with lots of parm and some breadcrumbs, some panko breadcrumbs. These are Italian seasoned panko breadcrumbs, and it do really work better just because it gives you better texture. This is some garlic and herb seasoning. I'm making myself, listen, real simple. All you do is you take some Italian seasoning, equal parts Italian seasoning, garlic powder, and a half of that of onion powder, and it is delicious, okay? Put it on everything and anything. It works particularly well with poultry. So you have that done. I'm gonna hit this with a little salt. I don't like to put a lot of salt in my seasonings because, you know, I like to control. That's what I do. Black pepper. Mix that around. Move this aside like so. We need a little bit of flour because we need things to adhere, right? The flour needs some salt and pepper, a little bit of flour, not much. I also want to show you the thickness of the chicken breast. They're not as thin as a cutlet because this is a different situation. You see the thickness of these? I want these to stay nice and juicy, and I want to cut them sort of like on a bias so that they're delicious and succulent. And like I said, not a thin, crispy cutlet that you're just going to walk around with. Unless that's just me. Okay, I'm going to crack a couple of eggs in a shallow bowl. Beautiful. These are farm fresh eggs, okay? Can you just appreciate the yolk, okay? Beautiful. Gorgeous. A pinch of salt, a bit of pep. And because it's right here, and I always do, and Nona would be so mad at me if I didn't, a little parm into the eggs. It helps the eggs bind better to the chicken. A little bit of that, like so, like that. Give it a nice whisk. Trying to station myself in a way that I can get this done, but I'm gonna try. A little bit of flour, right? Shake off the excess because really the flour is nothing but a blanket to help the eggs adhere. The eggs need to adhere to the chicken so that the parm mixture adheres really well. See, that part was not, and you should pound them so that they're perfectly same thickness, but this one you can tell the tail, I missed that part, but that's okay. That is okay. And then I just come in here with my hands and just do one of these. Chicken is all breaded. I'm gonna go ahead and cook them in my shallow Dutch oven. I want a good amount of olive oil, extra virgin olive oil. I love the flavor here. And a little bit of butter. The butter mixed with a lot of parm just gives you a really lovely, rich, salty, yummy crust. Love it, love it, love it, love it. And I'm using salted butter because, like I said, with the parm, I'm just really after that cheesy, lovely, buttery goodness. Now I know what you're thinking. Why would I make that on a busy Wednesday night when I've got the bread and the thing and that's a lot of dishes? You can do this the night before. The breading part you can make the night before, put them in the fridge covered, the next day, cook them up, make a quick salad, and you are done. You can serve it with a baguette, which is how I always serve it. I don't know if your grocery store carries the, I don't know what they're called. There's something like bake at home or something. They're typically in the bakery section. They come, you know, ciabatta, baguettes, rolls. They're like partially cooked and you keep them in the freezer section. And then anytime you want bread, you take it out and you put them in the oven and you finish cooking them for like 10 minutes at 400 degrees. And they're golden brown and crusty and delicious. And that is the best thing, with the exception of puff pastry. It is the best thing in the freezer section of every grocery store right now because they are so handy. So in a moment's notice, you've got fresh, delicious bread that really does feel like it's fresh and homemade and wonderful. So I'm just going to go ahead and let this get all nice and hot. I know it looks like a lot, but there's really only 2 tablespoons of each, and there's 4 really nice cutlets here. And I want them to be sublime. So I want to get this nice and hot before I add my cutlets. Gorge, gorge, gorge. I think I'm only going to be able to fit 3 in here comfortably, which is fine. Yep, it's fine. I'm going to cook these. They're only going to take, I'll do this after our time is up. Don't you worry. These are probably going to take about, for their thickness, I would say, 4 minutes per side. While that's happening, I'm going to gather all the things to make a really quick dressing, make our salad, have it ready, and it's going to be awesome. Chicken is looking absolutely gorgeous, leaving that there. I've got a large bowl with tons of arugula, fresh baby arugula, washed and dried, of course. To it, I'm going to add some parsley. I'm going to finely chop. If this were summer, if we're talking like June, July situation, I would go into my garden. I would get parsley. I would get dill. I would get oregano. I would finely chop all of it and add it to my bowl of arugula, some chives. But I don't have a garden yet because it's cold. So I'm going to go ahead and just chop some fresh parsley. I remember years ago, my Aunt Marie was the first person I knew who would add whole herbs to her mixed greens and to her salad. And it always stuck with me, and I've added herbs to my salad ever since. It's such a flavor booster, and why not? That's like an extra leafy green. You know what I mean? It doesn't have to be super finely chopped, just enough that it kind of disperses through. Add that right in. And then for the dressing, like here you could play around with so much. You could add some thinly sliced fennel to this. You could add some shaved raw vegetables, radishes. You know, if you wanted to do cucumbers, you could. Whatever your heart desires, you could really play around. This is a very basic thing. I always have either arugula or mixed greens on hand, and everything else are pantry staples for me. So I'm going to make mine in a little mason jar. Very simple. I'm going to take a clove of garlic. I'm not going to need all of it for this dressing, but this is a dressing I keep on hand all the time because it's that delicious, and it goes pretty much with everything. And it's also a really great marinade for poultry or seafood. Just careful because there's a lot of acid in here, so if you're going to add it for seafood, just don't let it marinate too long or you're going to make ceviche. In a small mason jar, I'm going to go ahead and grate my garlic. You know this was a bad idea to grate it over that. Little Dijon mustard. Get that in there. Then we have some limone. Give it a nice roll. I'm going to do about, let's go with a half of a lemon. That's good enough. A bit of red wine vinegar. You could use a different vinegar here if you wanted to. I'm just going to go ahead and keep it at that. Salt, pepper, and then extra virgin olive oil. Bada bing, bada boom. You mix it all around. You put a lid on and you shake it. And look at that. It just kind of emulsifies and it will split as it sits. This will last on your counter a while. I will make this once a week just because we go through it. And then the best way to taste your dressing is to use lettuce leaf. That's perfect. No, perfect. I was going to add a bit more salt, but nope, perfect. It's garlicky, definitely garlicky. So if you don't like a lot of garlic, then I would suggest cutting back. However, you know, that's just not my case, okay? That's just not how I roll. These are looking gorgeous. Look at that beautiful color. I'm gonna give them like maybe, let's go with like 1 more minute. Oh, that's magnificent. Smells fantastic. I'm gonna let them go for like 1 more minute. Then I will let them rest. I'm gonna dress my salad very last minute because I don't want it to wilt. I'm gonna go ahead and grab a plate, serving dishes. I mean, that's pretty much it. Easy. All right, cutlets are out. The other one's in. We're not gonna worry about that right now. I am going to lightly dress my salad. I don't wanna overdress it because what'll happen is you'll take it from beautiful and fluffy and like those greens bouncy and all that to really wet and messy. But you can, and I will, add dressing alongside when I go to serve it. So just a really light fluff dress, you know. And then what's really nice here too is to do a little Parmesan shaving situation on the plate. I'm gonna go ahead and just put some on my plate. I'm so hungry. I mean, when am I not? But I really am. I'm so hungry. Boom. Okay, let's take a chicken. Oh, it's beautiful. It's rested a bit. I mean, it's a beautiful golden brown. It's so beautiful. It's got some crispness to it. And I want it to be juicy. I don't want no dry chicken. Ready? Get up close. Excuse me, but yes, please. Okay? Excuse me, but yes. If you hear footsteps, that's sous chef, okay? We all know how she does. We all know she's queen around here, okay? Let's just accept it. A little lemon for good measure. Really all over me. A little lemon for good measure. And because we're here already, we might as well. Just do one of those. Oh, you know what else I really love on this? I love sumac. I do. If you don't have it, don't use it. I love sumac. It's a lovely little dry herb situation that's very lemony, delicious undertone that goes very well with a salad with a very pungent dressing. Okay, going in for the chicken. That is it is so delicious. Very cheesy, very Parmesan-y. If you were to use pecorino, it'd be even stronger, which would be a wonderful thing. With the salad, that's really light. That is delicious. It's delicious, perfect for a weeknight, great for a weekend. You can make a ton of these if you have people coming over. Kids love them. It's a win-win. LauraInTheKitchen.com for the written recipe. I hope you enjoy spending time with me. I will see you in the next one. Bye. That is so good.